everybody, I am back with another video, and before I get started with this review here, I want to say thanks for stopping by. And if this is your first time here, if you haven't done so already, make sure you do the right thing and hit the subscribe button below. And if you enjoyed the video, then give your girl a thumbs up. Alright, so let's get it. I have this box here. This is a two-piece box. There's a semi-gloss finish to it. On the top lid, it's a lighter shade of gray, and the Air Jordan text is spelled out in the same dark gray color as the bottom part of the box. Jumpman logo is imprinted right at the center and is in white, and Jumpman is facing right. And on the shorter ends of the top lid, the Nike Air with the swoosh is imprinted on in white, and this is a size 4. Which is my size, so let's take a look inside. This is the Air Jordan 11 Retro in the cool gray colorway. And these are so dope. Like, y'all don't understand how juiced I am to have these in hand to do my review. Like, it's such a classic colorway to me. And I get that it's not, you know, an OG colorway like the Space Jams or the Breads or the Concords for the 11s, because those colorways released when Jordan was with the Bulls, right? And this colorway released in 2001 when Jordan was with the Wizards. But I would say that everyone can agree that the cool gray 11s is a staple and classic sneaker and colorway, and it's such a dope shoe to me. And so I hit on these on the sneakers app, and this released December 2021. And so it wouldn't be the holiday season without Jordan Brand releasing some 11s, right? And so for 2021, for the 20th anniversary of its first debut, Jordan Brand released these cool grays here. And I think the cool gray is such a staple colorway because, like, after these 11s, they started a whole trend of releasing that type of colorway. So after the 11s, there were the cool gray 9s, there were the 4s, the 3s, there were some 8s, and some 10s, I believe, as well. But this colorway here for this sneaker is so classic to me, and I'm a huge fan. And so this is the third time Jordan Brand ever released this colorway. The first time, obviously, was in 2001, as I mentioned. Second time was in 2010. And I have a pair in my size to do a comparison. Picked them up, you know, 11 years ago, and I still have them. They're in pretty decent condition. And then the third time was December 2021. And so, super juice. What's cooler than cool? So let's go to some details. For the upper of the shoe, the base is made out of nubuck in a lighter shade of gray. And then pretty much for the bottom part of the shoe or the mudguard, there is a patent leather that's wrapped around in a darker shade of gray. For the lateral as well as medial side of the nubuck base panels, there are these exposed nylon webbings, and it's for the eyelets of the lacing system. So a very similar design to the Air Jordan 10s. That one's slightly more covered up than how it is here. Or if you think about the Air Max 95s, that lacing system is very similar, but that one's more covered up because of the waves. It only exposes the eyelets. And so for this pair here, the color is the same as the nubuck panels. For the laces on these shoes, they are roped white laces, and they're supposed to mimic the netting on a basketball hoop, so I thought that was really cool. At the center of the tongue, there is a medium gray patch that's sewn across. The Jumpman Jordan text is woven on in a dark shade of gray, very similar to the gray of the patent leather, and the Jumpman logo is woven on in white. So let's go into the right shoe. Shoe, and embroidered on the ankle collar of both the left and the right shoe, Jumpman logo is embroidered on in white, and Jumpman is facing towards the laces. For the sock liner on the shoe, the color is the same shade of gray as the patent leather, and it rounds outwards towards the back of the heel, and there the 2-3 is stacked and imprinted in white. For the polyurethane lined insole, the color is the same as the sock liner, and at the heel, the Jumpman logo is imprinted in white. For the midsole on these shoes, it's in a really bright white color and it's made out of Phylon. And inside of the midsole, there is a full-length Nike airsole cushioning unit. And if you look closely at the midsole, it looks like there's a weaving texture, and so it gives the shoe a lot more dimension. For the outsole on these shoes, there is the icy blue translucent rubber outsole. And personally, I do not like icy outsoles. It's just too blue and too icy.
Ooh, you know they like it. I'm so icy, so icy.
But I'll give an exception with the cool gray 11s because of the cooler tones on the shoe. It works out, but it doesn't work out on all shoes, right? Like the Carmine 6s, it was a no-go for me. So that's just my opinion. And then at the forefront and at the heel, there is a herringbone traction in the darker shade of gray. And underneath it all, there is a carbon fiber shank plate. So that was my review for my 2021 Cool Gray 11s. So let's take a look at my 2010 pair. So this is my box for my 2010 Cool Gray 11s, and this is just a basic one-piece box. It opens upwards, mostly all black, glossy box, and on the 3 sides of the lid, it has hits of gray. And at the center of the top lid, there is a Jumpman logo that's debossed in metallic silver. And on the long ends, it says Jordan on both sides in metallic silver. And this was $110 plus tax, right? So that's retail. And I believe I got this on Nike as well. I don't know if it was sneakers back then. I think it was just Nike.com, right? And so 11 years later, these came out $185 retail. But what's cool is that, you know, there's a nice box, the same box that the men's received. This box was just for GS. The men's got some cooler box, I'm sure. But yeah, this is the box, so let's take a look inside. This is my Cool Gray 11s from 2010, and as you can see, they look definitely aged, and it's because of the yellowed outsole here, or yellowing outsole. And that's just what happens naturally, right? Through oxidation and just wearing your shoes. And this was the material that they used back then, and so it was clear and not icy, which I am a fan of. And I think over time it ages, but it doesn't age badly in my opinion. The only thing that I wasn't a fan of when looking at the shoe was how dull the patent leather got. And so that's just natural, right? And then at the toe box, it creased, and so it cracked the nubuck. So it's kind of sad, but that's what happens when you wear your shoes. So some comparisons between the 2010 pair and the 2021 pair is that the patent leather cut is lower on the 2010 pair compared to the 2021. And then another big sign is the Jumpman embroidery. So obviously it's on the lateral side, but the Jumpman is facing towards the back of the heel instead of towards the laces. So that was a huge thing. I don't know why they made it face backwards, because it's just weird. And the embroidery is a little different, so the design got more refined in 2021. Another difference is with the laces. So for the 2010 pair, it's a lot more thin compared to the 2021 pair. Another difference is that on the inside of the tongue on the 2010 pair, the patch is in black and the Jumpman logo is woven on in gold, whereas the 2021 pair, the patch is in a dark shade of gray, similar to the inside lining, and the Jumpman logo is woven on in a darker shade of gray. And the final major difference between the two shoes I touched upon earlier is the outsole. So the 2010 pair came with the white translucent rubber outsole, and then when it yellows, it looks like this. And I don't think it looks awful. Around the herringbone traction at the forefront and the heel, it's a lot more yellowed, so it got more oxidized, right? And then for the 2021 pair, they're icy blue, so they look like this. And so let me know your thoughts on the shoes, which outsole you prefer, and are you mad about how they changed it up with Jordan Brand? Because now all translucent outsoles I think are icy like this. And so at the end of the day, I still am a huge fan of these shoes. I think they look super fresh. I think I'm still gonna rock my 2010 pair until the wheels fall off or the outsole falls off, because I think it still looks really good. But for this pair here, if you ever get your hands on these or your feet in them, make sure you go true to size and hang tight for my on feet look.
Perfect, perfect, perfect.